Good morning. Taking a little time and trying to bust into spring here in the Northwest. Colorful, beautiful things to come. Flowers and birds and whatnot. Let's see. I'm just going to start it off by saying thank God for small things. And I mean that. Thank God for small things. There's so many times that we get going into a day. Just pick a day with all the events that may have happened before that are going to orchestrate what's going to happen during that day. And with all the fears, worries, and concerns, or even goals set out for the next days ahead. You got to thank God for the small things that orchestrate within that pattern, within that realm, that within that rhythm. And you just got to take time to thank him for it. Whoever your God that you may think, there's got to be an orchestration, because it's evident in patterns in your daily life. And if you recognize it, if you truly believe, you notice those things. And you notice those things that come against you and come against whatever you may go on. Now, I know there's billions of people in the world, on this earth, but there's a symbiotic relationship that goes on. And if it moves big things, it moves small things too. And that's why I say you got to thank God for the small things. You have to take time when all of a sudden some little thing just seems to work out right. And or even that it comes together in the amidst of chaos. You know, you got to thank him for those times, and recognize that someone is watching out for you, that someone is there with you. Both externally and internally. And it helps fortify, it helps build your day around a little bit better of a trying to find the right word, rhythm, knowing that the next note that comes in your little song for the day or whatever is going to be okay. That you passed a certain hard point in that rhythm, and you were able to lay down the note with a grace that will work out. It's a way of looking forward instead of being stagnant or complacent in the immediate time, or being hurt or remorse or grieving or just a simple grieving for what was in the past. And so you take that time to thank God for the small things in life. There was a little blurb I heard years ago that, like planting a seed, between the time that you put it in the ground, between the time that you start it and the time that it flowers, there's a lot of nurturing. There's a lot of concern for outside elements coming against it: wind, rain, too much water, too much sun, whatever it may be. But in life, we have the habit of wanting to pull up the plant, so to speak, to make sure everything's fine, or to over baby it, over nurture it. And it's the small things that we have to be thankful for. That small thing being that you know everything's going to be fine. You do what you can. You water it, make sure it doesn't get direct sunlight or whatever it needs, that little plant. But there is a omnipresence that is going to be taking care of it when you turn your head around. It's kind of like that. You know, that we can't control everything. And to get past that point. But in my speak, lay it down at the altar is essential. To be able to lay it down on the altar, you've done your job and whatnot, but you got to walk away from it, knowing that it's in better hands. And so you still have control of everything else going on around you, but knowing that it's going to be taken care of. And when you do see the fruits, when you do see some growth, when you do see some pattern evolve and manipulate itself to something a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit more encouraging for yourself, or in an achievement, you'll know that, you had your hand in it. But you got to thank God for the small things. For those times that you were busy doing things. I always say the John Lennon thing of life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. You can do what you can do, but life is still going to go on as long as you recognize that someone's got control of it. It eases your mind a little bit more. It makes you feel a little bit more confident that you're part of something, that you're working in this world. No matter how much despair that you might be going through, no matter how much loss, grieving, whatever it may be, or a struggle, or beating your head against the wall. God's got control. It's as simple as that. So therefore, you turn around and you say, you know what? I thank you for the small things. Whether it's in your breath or you shout it from a hillside, you say it recognizing that fact. I thank you for the small things in my life today. Here. Springtime's coming. Nothing but love. Nothing but love.